Hey guys, thanks for stopping by my channel today. My name is Gina, and I believe there's more to life than looking good, but you gotta look good too. Today's gonna be a look good video, which hopefully then results in you feeling good, because I am going to go over my Sephora haul from the Beauty Insider sale. Now, I did put up a Sephora Beauty Insider sale recommendations wish list sort of situation. I let you know what I was thinking about getting. Of course, that changed since that time. And in fact, it took me like 4 days to get my sale items together for the website. I used my code my one time, and I think I went to the store like 3 or 4 more times. So, I mean, I didn't buy a ton of stuff, but there was definitely some things I was interested in trying and some things that I was interested in restocking. And so I've got some things that I like, one thing that I'm going to hold out on and tease you with, and then a couple of things that I was not impressed with. Hashtag not impressed. And so I'm going to kind of go over that. And I've had the products now for a long enough while. They're not first impression. I've used them all a number of times, so I've got some specific opinions about them. And so I want to share them. So you want to chat? Let's chat. So in no particular order, let me just kind of go through. This will be easy. Let me go through a couple of the things that I repurchased already. The Laura Mercier Flawless Fusion Foundation. I was so sad. You know, we always say all the time, like, if you don't agree with me, that's fine. You know, just because one person likes it doesn't mean that everybody has to like it. A YouTube creator I really like just put up a video where she was totally hashtag not impressed with this foundation. And I was like, no, you are totally missing out. I love this foundation. I think this is the 3rd bottle that I bought of that. Going along with Laura Mercier. See, they call it Flawless Fusion because supposedly it is supposed to kind of like fuse into your face, like into your skin. I think it sits really nicely on my skin. It wears a long enough time during the day without like completely mattifying or caking me out. And that's kind of all I'm really looking for in a foundation, because I know it's not a miracle worker with this face. And so you can't have tremendously high expectations. And so that guy works really good. If you haven't tried that, you know, go to Sephora, get a sample, because I believe it's a beautiful foundation. I also like the shade range. It's larger than most, and I'm just going to leave it at that. So I bought 2, although my intention was to buy 1. I bought the complimentary Flawless Fusion Concealer from Laura Mercier. Now, I had tried this before, and I was frustrated by the shading, and I thought, well, maybe I just got the wrong thing. And so I went back, and I got, so first I got 3W. 3W? They don't even have a 2W. I got 3W. It was the first warm shade in the line, and it was way too dark. It was like I put mustard underneath my eyes. I liked the way it worked though. Wasn't too heavy a concealer, but did an adequate job of concealing my just kind of dark under eye. Not so much dark circle, it's just a darker region under there. And I was like, okay, well, maybe I could go neutral, because I tend to go for the warm shades or the yellow undertones. And I was like, well, maybe I can go neutral, because there is, like you can see, there's pink on my body on here somewhere too. So I'm like neutral to warm. A little bit warmer than neutral, but you get what I mean, right? So I went back. I ordered online. I didn't go back. I ordered online the 2W. No, I'm sorry, the 2N. So I had 3W, so I went to 2N. That was like the next, you know, lightest shade without being like the cool shade. And it is still incredibly dark. I don't understand how this is a 2. And it's got a lot of yellow in it. I don't know. So I was like, okay, well, clearly I just bought the wrong shade. So then I went in and I got 1N, 1 neutral. It's the lightest thing they have. And yeah, hey, guess what? It is the lightest thing that they have, which is almost like the lightest thing that there is. And so I've worn it under my eyes, but I'm mad. I'm mad that the shade range isn't any better. I've worn it under my eyes, and I've had to dumb it down with either, I want to say textured, not a textured powder, but a non-translucent, like colored powder under my eyes to kind of tone down the whiteness that appears there. I so love the formula. I'm so annoyed at the shades, and I should have learned from my first time, but I was a sucker, and I went in a second time. So clearly I still own both of them. I am so anti-high maintenance that I don't really feel like using both of them, you know, because one could kind of cancel the other out and they could balance. People do that with their foundations. They do that with their under eye concealer. I cannot be bothered. I don't have the time. And then I'm also so type A that I'd be concerned that my daily mixture would not match what I had worn the day before. Is that ridiculous? It's ridiculous. But I can't help it. That's the way that I am. And so I haven't decided what I'm doing with those. But clearly I still have them both. But your shade range sucks, Laura. What happened? You were like, you still are one of my most favorite brands. But that concealer needs quite a bit of attention. Okay, I'm holding this guy. This was hilarious. I happened to be in Manhattan. And I said to my husband for another reason, I'm like, oh my God, we are near a Sephora store. The Sephora stores in Manhattan are pretty killer. So they actually stocked the Natasha Denona foundation. They call this the Transform Matte Pore Vanishing Matte Foundation. That's like a holy grail product right there. At least that's what I was initially thinking. But because I don't want to get blacklisted by Sephora for, is that a bad phrase? Blacklisted? Do you ever like, you start to use like phrases in like, you know, cliches almost, and then you find out that they have like an awful like history to them? I need to look up blacklisted. Do any of you know what that phrase comes from? That one, that like now freaked me out because I said that kind of publicly. Anyway, I don't want to be on Sephora's naughty list, and so I didn't want to buy like 5 shades because that's how many it takes me to decide what my shade is. So we were in Manhattan and I said, oh my gosh, we're going to go to the Sephora store. My poor husband, because I kept swatching and then walking over to the window in the light to see what it would look like in the light. You know how the staff is in Sephora. I used to work at Sephora. Like, we have to stalk you when you're a customer that comes into the store. We have to like stalk you to make sure like that you're not stealing. I think I happen to have a guy in the section where Natasha Denona was. He was thoroughly annoyed with me. 1, that I was there so long, and 2, that I was walking back and forth so much. But I was determined to get my shade, which I believe I did. 27WY, which is warm yellow, which is considered light warm yellow. Her shading is ridiculous. You really need to try to pick it out in store or buy 5 shades. Oh, my point with that is I didn't want to buy 5 shades and then return so many because I didn't want to get in trouble with Sephora. I hear that they're kind of monitoring that, and I know that their return policy has definitely gotten stricter over time. And so if I were forbidden to do returns to Sephora, that would be a very sad day. So I wanted to be conservative, which is why I decided to go to the store. I had like 5 options. This was a little frustrating because Natasha's shadings were all very close to each other with minimal difference between the 2. And so when you look at them, you feel like you could do either one. And then, of course, if I did one, I'd be freaking out that I should have done the other shade. I am so particular about making sure my foundation matches. I think because I've been scarred by the women who have like a brown line along their chin. And now I feel bad for them. Like, I want to have a lesson with them and be like, let me explain to you how to blend below the chin line and also how to choose out your correct shade. Anyway, I really enjoy this. I compare it to the IT Cosmetics CC cream because it is, it's pretty full. It's medium to full coverage, or a full medium coverage one. Like if you had a medium range, it's at the high end of a medium coverage foundation. But because it's pore vanishing and not really mattifying, this does not mattify me, let me say. But what it does do is kind of regulate and control my oil. And so I find with the IT Cosmetics, the original CC cream, that's a shiny hot mess for me, which is why I reserve it for this summer. Since I'm going to sweat anyway, might as well like, don't swim upstream, just kind of go with it. If I'm going to have shiny skin, I might as well use a foundation that's going to enhance that instead of trying to fight it. I absolutely now prefer this over the IT Cosmetics CC cream. It's very liquidy. Like when you, it's got a pump, which is nice. I also like that it's in this like squeezy toothpaste tube. So that makes it nice for traveling. When you kind of squeeze it out though, it's a very kind of liquidy foundation, which to me made me think that it was going to be, not as much coverage, but it is, I've worn it on really hot days, put it that way. And it wound up working, you know, very nicely. Like it wasn't like a heavy foundation, like too heavy a foundation for warm weather. but I love the way it reacts with my skin and my skin type. I do believe if you have dry skin, you would be able to use this very comfortably as well. Maybe not super dry, sensitive skin. I'm not sure you should ever try anything mattifying at that point, but I did not find that to be excessively mattifying. It was nicely pore vanishing as well. I was really impressed. And so I was happy that I had picked it up. It's very expensive, by the way. I think it's like 45 bucks. So maybe wait till the fall if Sephora is going to have that sale again to get 20% off of that. Oh, I got something else from Laura Mercier because this actually changed. I picked up a blush, and it used to come in smaller, like in a smaller square, and I didn't enjoy the colors as much. A lot of her original release of blushes were kind of shimmery a little bit. But she came out with a series now of mattes. And so I got this beautiful color that I am wearing today that I've actually been wearing in my last handful of videos because I just can't stop. So this is the shade Ginger. I mean, and like I said, I'm wearing it, but it doesn't swatch worth a shit, actually. Sorry. But it's just a very like neutral. It reminds me a lot of Madly by NARS, which is a very kind of neutrally non-pink. And this I feel like is the equivalent of that, but a little bit warmer. So it doesn't add like a ton of color, but it adds a flush. The other thing I like about this blush, officially it's called Blush Color Infusion. It's actually described as a sheer blush, and I like sheer blushes because, for example, the ones by NARS are like major pigmented. But I love a sheer blush. I like have a love-hate relationship with blush. I feel like I can so easily go from not enough to too much, which is why I love by MAC Peaches, because that is a sheer tone blush as well. And so I don't often run into, I haven't ever really searched for them, but I haven't often run into a sheer blush. And so Laura kind of hit the bullseye, hit the target, hit the bullseye. My husband always laughs at me because I mess up cliches all the time. Anyway, so I picked this up as the trial. It was the most neutral. There's about 5 other shades. One of them is brownie, one of them is pinky, one of them is corally, and I'm interested in getting more. And so I was very pleasantly surprised. I found that, unfortunately, while browsing the store, and honestly, it was right below the concealers for Laura Mercier. And because I was so frustrated with the concealer shades, I kind of was just like looking around and I was like, ooh, blushes. And so I latched onto that and picked up one of those. Very excited. Okay, so this one was apparently the shopping haul of the splurge because I got a handful of higher end items, luxury items that I might not have otherwise gotten. So I now own 2 YSL, I forget what they call these. The YSL, they're new, like matte. I can't read it. Couture matte something. That's ridiculous. I will leave it listed down below. But these are their new kind of like matte lip creams. These are phenomenal. Now here's my problem with the line. 1, it's expensive, $37. Not like I should be surprised, but it is. It's expensive. And the tube is clearly shorter than what you would find on other matte lipsticks and stuff. But it's YSL and it looks so pretty. I don't really care about packaging. People say the packaging is so pretty. This thing is genius. The other thing I don't like about it is that I'm not a fan of the shades. They're all very dark. They don't have a very significant nude, like a light nude. So right now I'm actually wearing the second one I purchased. This is number 26, and they call this a cool mauve. So that, well, I should say, they call it a cool mauve. It's quite a bit purple. I feel like, tell me what you guys think, because I feel like it's a smidge purple for me. But I would much prefer a purple over like a raspberry. I just don't think it complements my skin tone as much. I've got olive skin, green eyes. I feel like purples look better. This is probably the most purple thing that I've ever bought. The other one I got was number 7. And they described this as they described this one as the nude. and it shows up nude like on my hand, but when I wear it, it's quite a bit pink. It's quite a bit pink. I wouldn't go so far as to say that it was a nude nude. It's not a nude nude. It's like a pink nude. Anyway, now, I love these though. Despite the fact that we don't get 100% along. I love these. First of all, the applicator is genius. It's like a sponge with a pointed tip. So when you think about like doe foot applicators, they're like soft and fuzzy around the edge. This can be sharp without like ripping your lips open and making you bleed. It literally, you can like line your lips with this. I have never been so easily able to apply a liquid lipstick with such ease and precision. Because sometimes I don't even feel like wearing like a liquid lipstick because I don't have the energy or the time to be so precise, because you don't have to be so precise, but yet you're using like what appears to be a sponge on the end of the doe foot applicator. This applicator is insane. Hands down the best tube applicator I have ever used, which is why I now have two. Also, this is like lip stain, like they like describe it as a stain. And I don't agree, because a stain like kind of absorbs into your lip, almost like you had like an ice pop. This still sits on top of your lip, but yet blends in. How does that even happen? I don't even know. But never mind that it looks good. It is so comfortable. It is the most comfortable matte anything I have ever put on. And I just did that video, I'll link it, where I was talking about things that we should be wary of as we get older and age. You gotta be wary of a matte lipstick. You could actually get away with wearing this alone. It's got a hint of that creaminess that prevents it from being 100% transfer proof. Today I am wearing, like I said, number 26, the mauve one. And I have put a balm on top of it just to add a little moisture. My lips are extra dry, but you don't even have to. So if you want the long wearing with the comfort without having to be slippery, I mean, this is the way to go. I don't know. I'm so annoyed. It's $37. Oh my God. I actually said that out loud. My husband might watch this video and he'll be like, what? $37? Okay, so something I picked up that I use now, well, not now all the time, I have been using all the time, is by Bite Beauty. It's the Agave lip mask in a bullet. Oh, this actually is my brand new one. I've got another one that's in my bag. This guy is going to go next to my bedside table. I love this. It is the perfect way to add moisture to your lips and a little bit of shine without adding too much shine so that it doesn't last, because this is long lasting. I love this. But it moisturizes my lips in a way like no other one has. That guy I think is like 26 bucks, which seems ridiculous. But doesn't work like chapstick does, I'll tell you that much. Which then leads me to my next thing. Did I already say? I got that on top of my YSL matte lip stain, whatever that thing is called. And it just feels so nice. Which leads me to my next thing. This is my hashtag not impressed. This is by Laneige. Laneige? The Special Care Lip Sleeping Mask. I'm sorry. I am so not impressed with this. This is just like glorified, not really Vaseline, because it's actually thinner than that. Like, I don't understand. When you wear the one by Bite Beauty, or the one, I also like the lip mask that comes in the miniature toothpaste tube. I love that one. That one is a little bit thicker than this is. When I hear lip mask, I mean, a mask is meant to be intense. This, like, is thin and slippery. It adds a very nice pink hue to your lips. I've tried it a couple of times. It smells nice. Smells like, actually, I'm not even sure I would say nice. Smells like bubble gum. Smells exactly like old school traditional bubble gum. Everybody raves about this. I could care less because it's like 20 bucks. Totally not worth it to me. I am holding it only so that I could show you just how frustrated this thing makes me. You want something that's equivalent and comparable? Get the one by Milani. Keep It Smooth Luxe Lip Treatment. If you want to know what that feels like, get the one by Milani. The one by Milani smells better too. They are literally like the same thing, and the Milani one is like half again as much. And then if you found a coupon or whatever, you'd be like rolling in the dough, because that, I don't understand. I mean, it's very nice, but you ain't no lip mask. I got news for you. Somebody needs to send you the memo that you're not a lip mask. Okay, so I was talking about luxury. So I did the YSL lipstick thing that doesn't have a name because it's not written on the container, but like I said, I'll link it down below. I also went luxury when I had a conversation with Dior. Now, the only thing that I've ever bought prior by Dior was what I've bought quite a few of, and that was the Dior Show Blackout Mascara. Still live for that to this day. Did not buy any because I already have 2 backups still. But I bought the Dior Skin Nude Air Luminizer in number 3. Now, they have 4 shades. 2 of the shades were sold out. As the sale went on, this one actually sold out as well. I can't imagine that's still the case. I'm sorry, I honestly didn't check it out this morning before filming. This is like $50-something, but on sale, so worth it. I can't even say that it was worth it because I'm not sure it's worth it at 40 bucks either. I'm not sure any makeup item is worth 40 bucks, but that's a whole other conversation. So everybody raved that this was just a beautiful highlighter. I also talked in that video about getting older and aging, how you have to be very careful with your highlighter. Now, this one is a goldish highlighter, which I know for sure works well with my skin tone. I am wearing it today. It's a little bit more than I'm used to. So this is probably the most intense highlight. I mean, not for nothing. It's a beautiful highlight. It's probably the most intense highlight that I own. It's interesting because it's not very soft. You know, whoa. You know how like you touch like a Becca highlighter and you feel like if you push too hard, or even an Anastasia highlighter, you feel like you're going to push your finger through? This guy, he's pretty hard. Like that didn't sound right. He doesn't have a lot of payoff, most especially when you apply your brush. I think that's what makes it misleading. I'm actually kind of surprised I have on as much as I do today. I think because it looks like it's not coming off on your brush, and then you put it on and then you're like, holy cow, there it is. But I will say this. One, I'm going to keep it because I don't have very many luxury makeup items, and I don't know. I feel like I got it on sale, and I think it's beautiful, and it makes me smile every time I take it out. And for the most part, it goes with me. It came with, this was hilarious. It came with this brush, this like kabuki looking brush. I'm like, really? To put highlighter on? I tried it the first day. I made the mistake of trying it on my way to work when I was running late in the morning, and I looked like I was trying out for a Broadway play because I think it covered my entire cheek. I had to go back in with a lot of powder to dumb it down a little bit. Oh my gosh. I'm not sure. Why are we using highlighter with such a big, dense? It's not even soft. It's so dense. Maybe there's a way. I don't know. But then it also came with the little velour, little velvet case. I don't own anything. Do I? No. I don't own anything that came in a case. And so, I don't know. I'm going to keep it. It is a beautiful highlighter. I already have beautiful highlighters. I don't need it. So I'm going to waste my money and hold on to it. Something that, just real quick, something that I stocked up on, which I think there is no comparison for in any way, is by NARS. It's the Soft Matte Complete Concealer. You can use this anywhere. I use it to prime my eyes. Sometimes I use it as under eye concealer. Covers up redness. I can use a lower grade, not lower grade, but a less coverage foundation. And then I can supplement with this so that I'm not fully loading my face in a full coverage foundation, but I can go after blemishes and red spots with this concealer. I live for this concealer. I've been through, that's probably a drawback that I've been through so many, but I love it. Okay, so luxury. I also got the Tom Ford bronzer brush, which is number 5, by the way, which is kind of like my lucky number. It's my birthday. And I'm going to tease you with this. I still own it. Clearly, I've used it. I've been using it very focusedly, meaning I pay attention. Like a lot of times I'm just getting ready really quick. I've been paying attention to this guy, and I've got some comments. And so please tell me if you would like a video about my thoughts and comments and comparisons of this very overly priced. I showed my best friend my Sephora shopping cart online. I was like, help me, I'm spending way too much money. And all she could talk about, she's like, you have a brush in there for $115. It's like, I know, but everybody talks about it. So teaser, do you guys want to see a video on this? I would love to do a video on this, but if you don't want to see it, I won't do it. But do you want to see it? Let me know. Leave me a comment down below. Okay. Okay. I bought a couple lip products. First of all, my hashtag not impressed was the first Huda Beauty lip product I bought. I bought the Demi-Matte liquid lip. That is not this one. But I bought the Demi-Matte because I kind of said I was over liquid lipsticks. I don't like when they dry me out. I thought that nothing was going to compare to the YSL. I bought the Demi-Matte. It might as well have been a lipstick in a tube. I was like, why am I even bothering to try to put lipstick on with a doe foot applicator? Because it makes it, this is so much more time consuming than just a bullet. And it behaved exactly like a lipstick in a bullet. Transfer proof, shiny, slippery, not so precise. I was like, forget it. I'm not spending almost 20 bucks on this. So I returned it. And then I was in the store and I was like, everybody always talks about these. Plus the smell is amazing. It's like very tropical or something. Okay, so I did some research on the top shades. Plus, mind you, with the YSL, I couldn't get a nude. So Huda has a ton of nudes. And so my husband was with me as well. And I said I was kind of throwing some shades back and forth with him. And we settled on what they call Bombshell. So like I said, this is the liquid matte lipstick. This is the most comfortable liquid matte, like honest to goodness, like liquid matte lipstick. Almost. Like it ties with another one. I'll show you in a second. But this is super comfortable. Like I think about the Anastasia liquid lips and I feel like the life gets sucked out of my lips when I wear those. This is actually pretty comfortable. So I typically get nudes all of the same shade. Like, you know, it's that kind of like pale pink with like a hint of brown. You know what I mean? Like we all know that nude, right? So this was a different nude for me. This is the most, probably the most colorful nude that I own and I love it. I love this idea of actually putting color on my lips instead of trying to kind of drown them out. This is a beautiful, honestly, I couldn't even really, it's got so many colors in it. Wow, it smells quite a bit. Did you see me almost put it on the end of my nose? That would have been awesome. Bombshell is like a non-bright peach. It's so beautiful. Oh my goodness. But it's, I was wearing this in the very same video that I just filmed last about don't do this when you're old makeup techniques. And I thought it played off really well in that video. But like I said, it's probably the most colorful nude that I own. And now I want to go back and get more of these because I was really impressed with that particular lipstick. The only other liquid lipstick that I feel rivals that as far as comfortability, comfort. Why create a word that is 10 syllables longer than the actual word? That was silly. As far as comfort, is by Stila. I really like the ones by Stila too. This is actually a rebuy. This is Caramello, which is that shade that I was just trying to describe. Kind of the pale pinky brown. It's like right there. In comparison, so you can see the difference in comparison to the Huda Beauty one. But this is just amazing. I use this as a base. I use this alone. I use this with a gloss. I just love it. And this one smells nice too, but while Huda is tropical, this one is more, it's comforting, actually. It's just a really calm, kind of comforting smell. Nothing obnoxious, nothing too much. Speaking of too much, let's go the opposite way. I bought by Hourglass. I'm like slowly making a collection of shimmery eyeshadows in a tub. Because I have the one by Tarte, I have the one by Natasha Denona, and now I have the one by Hourglass. The Scattered Light Glitter Eyeshadow Reflect. Is this one called Scattered Light? This might be called Scattered Light, like the shade is Scattered Light. Glitter Eyeshadow Reflect. I'll tell you what's what in the description box below, but basically this is Hourglass's. This reminds me a lot of the L'Oreal Amber Rush, for example. It comes in a very similar thing. It's got a little hat that you got to take off, which covers the semi-loose pigment inside. I have a love-hate relationship with this guy. I love the shade that it appears to be in the container. And then as well when I get it on my hand. I love the shade. I'm having the hardest time getting it out of this onto my eyelid. I've used Fix Plus. I've used a synthetic brush. I've used a real brush. I've used my fingertips. This is one of those items where I definitely need to play. But if you were deciding based on my video, which you shouldn't, but if you were, based on my video alone, whether to buy it or not, I would say no. Because I think it's too much work. Like, if I can't use you comfortably the first time, then there's no reason. But I do love the shade. So I'm like mildly impressed by that right now. I'm not impressed. I'm mildly impressed. Okay, I did get some skincare too. And it's interesting because it's kind of, So these are the things that I actually talked about getting and then I ultimately did get. I got by Fresh the Rose Deep Hydration Face Serum. This is beautiful. It's hyaluronic acid, which is what I primarily have been looking for. Roses in general are apparently very hydrating as well. Ultimately, you know, I enjoy the experience of it because it smells really nice. It does nice things for my skin. I feel like I don't know if this is a good thing or not. Like when I use something that's less expensive, am I carelessly using more product and then maybe putting too much on my face because I'm not so conscious of how expensive it is or how not inexpensive it is? When I use this, I like can't stop thinking about how it's pricier than what I would normally buy. Like I was using the hyaluronic acid by The Ordinary, which is like 20% the price of this. And so when I use this, I'm like, okay, each little guy is a lot of money. And so I'm wondering, like, am I not using enough? Like, am I trying to be so conservative that I'm not using enough? So I'm trying to find the happy medium between expensive and inexpensive skincare products. Because versus an eyeshadow where you only put it on a tiny little place on your eyelid, this goes all over your face. And so the money goes by so quickly. But I do love it. It is very pleasant, very soothing. I love the smell. The smell makes me smile. So maybe actually that makes it worth it too. Okay, hashtag not impressed. This actually freaked me out. So this is by Murad. This is the Environmental Shield Rapid Age Spot and Pigment Lightening Serum. It has 2% hydroquinone, which is a skin lightener. And it also has has vitamin C in it, which is a skin brightener and also an antioxidant. So normally I use vitamin C in and of itself every day. I was using the one by Ulla Henriksen, the Truth Serum, I believe. And I was intrigued that this was a skin lightener as well. I thought, well, let me double up my products a little bit there. This thing burns. Burns. Not only does it burn my eyes, and I got it nowhere near my eyes, but after like 2 or 3 days of using it, it burned my skin. And I was red. And you know, sometimes they, like with Retin-A, for example, they talk about how you got to build a tolerance. And honestly, I've already done that. I use Retin-A pretty much every day. And I had built the tolerance, but I did that many, many years ago. I've been using it for many years. I'm not so sure I would ever want my skin to build a tolerance to something anymore. Like, that just seems mean. Like, we're supposed to be kind to our skin. I'm not sure we should torture it for a short period of time until what? It becomes so numb that it can't stand it anymore. And then it just kind of gives in and, you know, gives up and says, okay, fine. Go ahead and put that product on me. I'll take it. I'll grin and bear it. Like, I don't know. But I thought, okay, well, my skin is burning and it was getting like blotchy. And I'm like, okay, this can't be good. I read all the reviews. Nobody really said anything about it. So I did a Google search on it. Now, this was not the way to go, but it just kind of enhanced what I was already thinking. Apparently, hydroquinone was kind of banned by like the FDA back in the 80s. And so you couldn't get it prescription strength anymore. And what Murad was doing was bragging that this was the most powerful level of hydroquinone that you could get without a prescription. So they like tested the limit, which how much they could give you. without needing a prescription, which apparently the FDA didn't like back in the day. I honestly didn't double check to see whether or not it was still current of a rule, but at one point they were not happy with it. And so then I started just ever so slightly glancing through some of those articles, and apparently it was turning some people's skin blue or black. It reduces your production of melanin or something. I freaked out. So I had just put it on like a half hour prior, and I'm sitting at the table like reading, and I'm like, oh my God, do I go wash it off? Do I try to get it out, or is it already in? Like I couldn't get it off my skin fast enough. Honestly, to this day, I don't know if it's acceptable or not, but I know it burned my skin. I'm going to go back to my Ole Henriksen vitamin C. I'm going to keep using my Retin-A, which is beautiful for anti-aging and all of that. And it does work for hyperpigmentation that you may have on your skin. And so I'm going to leave the hydroquinone alone. I just feel like there's conflicting information out there. I don't know. Which now brings me to my last, this is my last skincare product, my last product of my haul. Oh my gosh, have I been talking forever? I think so. Okay, so this is the Peter Thomas Roth AHA and BHA Acne Cleansing Gel. This has 2% salicylic acid, and it also has 10% glycolic acid. So AHAs work on the surface of your skin to chemically resurface your skin versus a physical exfoliant, which are not very recommended. They are too harsh on your skin, but if you use the right chemical surface AHA acid to resurface your skin cells and kind of get the dead off, this is the way to go. Also been around a really long time. I bet you could probably find some negative research on it, but for the most part, it's very well and widely received. Salicylic acid is a BHA, gets into your pores. I got awful pores, need to be cleaned out from the inside, goes into the deeper levels of your skin in order to clear you out. I chose not to get the equivalent product by Drunk Elephant, even though it had AHA, BHA. I think it also had hyaluronic acid in it. I basically decided I wanted them separate and my vitamin C separate as well. Because I use a lot of products, I don't necessarily want to use all of them all at the same time. Sometimes I like to go every other day, give my skin a break if it gets extra irritated. For the most part, I use this in the morning. Sometimes I do skip a day if my skin is angry or, you know, right, I'm hormonal or something. So I like my ingredients not to necessarily be all in one. And that's a convenience for some, but something that I don't tend to look for. I like to keep everybody separated because sometimes everybody doesn't play nice altogether. That is the end of my haul and review. I know I got too much, but you know what's so awesome? They're all on separate receipts. So I'm never going to see that I spent an absolute crap ton of money at Sephora because it's all separate. They might even cross over into 2 credit card statements, so that would be even better. Anyway, what'd you get? Please share with me below. What do you think about the products I mentioned? Do you have any experience with any of them? Any ideas on how to use this, the Hourglass Shadow Pot, really well? I have no idea. Let me know if you want to see the Tom Ford Bronzer Brush video. I'm pretty excited about that, so I hope you do want to see it. And as always, thank you so much for spending your time with me. Please subscribe and be a member of my G Crew so that you can see more of the stuff that I put up. I hope you had a good time. If you had a good time, please give this video a thumbs up. If you learned something, that might be helpful too. But anyway, as always, a pleasure. Thank you so much for spending your time with me. I look forward to seeing you in my next video. In the meantime, thanks.